There are two markets, the one you see on your screen and the one that lives inside your mind. While one is made of price action, volume, and technical patterns, the other is made of belief systems, fears, and memories. Most traders devote years to understanding the outer market. They dissect candlestick patterns, memorize indicator signals, and backtest dozens of strategies. They think, maybe if I just find the perfect setup, I'll win consistently. But what they don't realize is that no amount of technical mastery can compensate for emotional instability. That second market, the internal one, is far more powerful, and for most, far more dangerous. Because inside that internal market lives fear, greed, FOMO, revenge. And unlike the clean, quantifiable metrics of a chart, these emotions are messy, unpredictable, and often invisible until it's too late. They don't show up in your trading journal. They don't flash red on your platform, but they control your hand. They whisper to you as you move your stop, as you double down after a loss, as you chase a breakout you promised you wouldn't. You see, many traders claim to have a plan, but few truly follow it. Why? Because when real money is on the line, when road candles are flashing, when P&L is moving against you, your nervous system takes over. Your logic fades. Your brain, wired for survival, overrides your discipline. And suddenly, the plan you so carefully wrote the night before disappears. And that's the real tragedy of trading. Not that the market is volatile, not that setups fail, but that we fail ourselves. Over and over, the market doesn't punish you. You punish yourself. With every impulsive entry, every early exit, every over-leveraged revenge trade, you are not reacting to the market. You're reacting to something inside yourself. Maybe it's fear of failure. Maybe it's the need to prove something. Maybe it's a past trauma tied to loss. Whatever it is, it lives deep. And it surfaces in the heat of battle. Trading, then, becomes more than a profession. It becomes a mirror, a reflection of your mindset, your patience, your emotional control. Every trade is a test, not of your strategy, but of your self-awareness. Because when you detach from outcome, when you stop needing to win, when you stop trying to predict and instead respond, that's when you begin to trade with true clarity. That's when your mind stops being the enemy and becomes the edge. The great traders, the ones who survive, the ones who thrive, aren't just skilled, they're calm. They have the same emotions as everyone else, but they've trained themselves to pause, to breathe, to observe, to wait. They don't jump in because a candle looks juicy. They don't panic because price ticks against them. They operate from a state of inner stillness, and that stillness is the foundation of their edge. You can read every book, buy every course, watch every webinar, but if you haven't trained your mind, you're still vulnerable. Because this game is played in silence, in solitude, with no coach yelling from the sidelines, no referee to blow the whistle when you're breaking your own rules. It's just you, your plan, and your ability to stick to it. And most traders lose not because their plan is flawed, but because they abandon it under pressure. They say trading is simple, but not easy. The reason it's not easy is because it forces you to face yourself, your habits, your impulses, your beliefs. And unless you do the inner work, no amount of strategy will save you. That's why the most important part of trading is not your entry, not your exit, not your win rate. It's your mindset. So, how do you master the inner market? Start by observing. Pay attention to what you feel during trades. Notice the moment you hesitate, the urge to overtrade, the craving to make it back. Write it down. Journal not just your trades, but your emotions, because every feeling leaves a fingerprint on your decision-making. And awareness is the first step toward change. Next, build rituals. Meditate before the open. Review your rules out loud. Visualize your process. Create routines that ground you. Because when the storm comes, and it will, you'll need something to anchor you. Something to remind you that your worth is not tied to your P&L. That one trade doesn't define you. That the goal is not to win today, but to execute flawlessly. And when you lose, because everyone does, don't spiral, don't chase, don't try to fix it with one big trade. Instead, step back, zoom out, ask yourself, did I follow my process? Did I respect risk? Did I trade from a place of clarity or emotion? If the answer is yes, then you've already won. Because the real goal is consistency, not in profit, but in behavior. Mastering trading psychology doesn't mean becoming emotionless. It means becoming emotionally intelligent, feeling fear but not acting on it, noticing greed but not feeding it, experiencing loss but not personalizing it. That's emotional discipline, and it's rare, but it's trainable. And it's what separates the hobbyist from the professional, the gambler from the strategist, the burned out from the consistent. Your biggest edge will never be a tool or a tactic. It will be the quiet confidence that no matter what the market throws at you, you remain grounded. That your identity is not tied to a single trade, that you are bigger than the outcome. So next time you sit down to trade, before you even open your platform, pause, breathe. Ask yourself, am I here to trade a system or to chase a feeling? Am I following my edge or feeding a wound? Because how you answer those questions will shape every decision you make. Trading is not about predicting the future. It's about managing yourself in the present. If you can do that, if you can master the market within, you won't just survive, you'll evolve. And in that evolution, you'll find freedom, not just as a trader, but as a person. Because the path to consistency in the market is the same path that leads to clarity in life. So trade well, trade mindfully, and never stop doing the inner work.